The Valley of Dreams really made it our fortress. Welcome back to Where Addicks Talk with myself, Luke, and today we've got Steve, Alan, Dave, Platty, and Timsy talking all things Charlton, including the A to Z, something a little bit special, and tweet of the week. Let's start with the draw against Swansea, shall we, Dave? Was you happy with the point?
I think on the whole of it, yeah. In terms of we got a couple of bad injuries, and from what I saw, it sort of stopped our sort of ebb and flow. We didn't really get going, other than there was a fantastic save. Looking back now at the highlights from Gillespie's header, that was our real only chance. Clear-cut chance in the first half, and then Kelman scored. Fantastic, getting him on the score sheet at last. His work rate is just phenomenal, and the way he brings other players in, he does a fantastic job. So that is nice for him to get his reward. They scored a worldie, which has to be said, to equalise, and at the end, their fullback missed an absolute sitter from 5 yards out. He skied it, and we should have lost. But fair play, they hung on in, and I think 1-1 was a good result, really, against a very decent team. They attacked very fluidly against us, so they looked decent.
Yeah, I think one of the highlights, Steve, was obviously Kelman's goal. It's good to see him get off the line. Do you reckon he can now really push on?
I truly hope so. I mean, I thought in the first half he was not on. I thought I was saying to people around me, I think we need to drag him off, because he's just, to me, I didn't think he was adding anything. But when he got straight away second half, the ball straight came over from Coventry, and Kelman finished it well. So yeah, I'm hoping this is the start of a bit of confidence raising for him. He's clearly a striker that thrives on confidence. So getting the one there, and then hopefully we're straight into a game in midweek, and he can carry that on. We really need him and hopefully Campbell need to start pushing on, because it's all well and good talking about XG and things in the past about it, but we need goals, and we need them to start putting a few more in the net than they are doing at the minute. But overall, the game was a fairly probably one of the more modest affairs that we've had down at the Valley this season. I thought Swansea were excellent. I thought they played a really good game. Our defence, Gillespie was making a few hicks right early on, and we were really struggling, I thought, and we were lucky in some respects to come out with a draw. But yeah, great to see Kelman get his first goal, and it's nice that he's finally off. He's got that duck off his back and got his first ever championship goal. So that's lovely to see.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned in there, Gillespie, Alan. Was that a bit of a nervy start from the boy? Was it a red card? What do you think?
Yeah, Friday was Halloween, mate. I missed Nightmare on Elm Street. We had Nightmare on Ford Road, I think, the first 60 seconds, whatever that was. Yeah, just pumped from the goalkeeper down the thing. I mean, Bert took charge of it. He said, I'm having it, but missed the float. Then it obviously bounced up with Jonesy. At the time of where I was, it looked like Gillespie got off a world-class tackle, and you think, like Pam Maldini's back after last week's racket. And obviously they're screaming, he was going, no, it's get up. But obviously looking at the highlights, it clearly shows that he took the bloke out. So yeah. As I said, it is what it is. It's just a weird, bizarre day yesterday. The two injuries didn't help, but we weren't playing well before that either, was we? So it's just, yeah, take the point, because as I said, in the comments online on that, I mean, you've got to give them credit. Nathan Jones, obviously, with Sheehan worked with him before. He knows how Nathan Jones is going to set up. They don't let us have the ball. They pressed us high at the pitch. And when we had the ball, we sort of panicked with it, and it ended up being, when they got the ball, they were not brilliant with it, but they kept the ball. You know what I mean? So it just, yeah. Then we lost the two players up before half time, and it just never sort of recovered from there. Once Kelman got his goal, we thought, brilliant, we're going to have we had about 5-10 minutes of energy, and then it went flat again. So take the point, move on.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the way to look at it. Obviously, you mentioned the injuries there. Platty, do you think squad depth could be a bit of a hindrance on Charlton this week, especially with the double game week?
I think it depends if it will be a hindrance if both the Bell and Burke aren't there, because we are down on defence. I mean, Ramsey came on and I think he went left back and then he went right back and then he went left back again. We're fortunate he's very adaptable, but can they play five at the back? And I mean, for me, probably for later in the chat, but Rob Apter should be in there on right side, and they decide how they play it. But we will be pushed, definitely. If we're two men down, we're definitely going to be pushed on defence. And I guess they got to think about, do they call back Zach Mitchell on loan from Scotland, or do they call Alex Mitchell back on loan from Plymouth? I think Zach I would call back, but it depends. Burke has got history, hasn't he? So you imagine that he may well be out for a bit. And Amari Bell, it's really strange because both just went down injured. There was no tackle involved in either of them. So, a bit disappointing, a bit sad. And that set the tone for the day, I think. I think all the supporters felt anxious, particularly after that happened. And, the level in the ground. But we got a point. We played averagely, poorly, and we still got a point. So we've got to be happy.
Sometimes they're the games that matter, aren't they? Where you don't really perform well, the atmosphere's maybe not at its best, and you come away with a point. So sometimes they're the games when you look back at the end of the season that really matter and really push you up the table. Timsy, let's get into another positive. I must admit, when I was looking at a few of the stats, and one loss in 23 home games, Timsy. I think that is very, very impressive. Obviously, that's spanned over League One and the Championship. It's a fortress.
Yeah, it wasn't when Nathan Jones first came in. I think we were giving up losses and draws in the 90th minute all the time. And I think since probably December time it's been since last year, probably a whole year now. It's really has kind of stepped up. Like, we get our points at home and we're trying to always take the win. It's been a right turnaround considering what we've been used to for like years and years before that. It's been quite a while since we've had this sort of form at home, and if we're going to stay in this league and like keep the momentum going, we have to keep the levels up at home and getting anything away we possibly can. Yesterday was a bit gutting that we didn't sort of push on a little bit. We kind of thought a bit of a step back. But no, I feel at home we don't seem to lose, and if we can keep that sort of going forward for the rest of the season now as well, I think we'll be happily mid-table at least anyway.
Yeah, definitely. You touched on it there, Tim. How important home form is for the Championship, and it really does make a difference. Dave, do you think if you're going to stay in the top half of the division, pushing playoffs, do you think the home form is going to really be where you get your points?
Yeah, I believe so. And it's the games that we have played at home, they have been other than like say the Blackburn game, with 3-0. It's always been by the odd goal. So that is the only concern, is that we're not free-flowing scoring team. We play the pressure game. And that could be our only sort of to test. And obviously we've got some bigger teams to play. How we pick ourselves and react to West Brom on Tuesday, which is coming up quick. These games are going to come quick and fast in the Championship, and recovery is all that more intense. So yeah, I would like to think so, that getting over 20,000, but the crowd's going to play a big part in that. Yeah, definitely. The crowd can really get behind the team. That makes all the difference. And moving on to the next game, it's West Brom at home. Steve, what we thinking? Let's go through our little score prediction time. So what we thinking from a home game against West Brom? 3 points.
I'd like to think so. I think, as I was alluded to, because we're not free scoring in most games. Okay, Blackburn and Ipswich aside, it's probably, if we're going to win it, it's going to be a 1-0 scraping it. So, and the thing that always scares me is that they've got one of our ex-strikers in their ranks in Colin Grant, and he's just the curse of the former player coming back and bound to score one. So I'm going to go 2-1 Charlton, and Kelman and Carey to score our ones.
Okay, Kelman to get on the score sheet again. I think that'll be really good for his confidence. Alan, we'll chuck it to you, mate. What is your score predictions for the Baggies?
I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. They're not on great form from what I saw on Twitter earlier. A little stat of theirs. We're obviously at the back going to be very short. Interesting. Does, like obviously Platty mentioned earlier about the wing backs and stuff. If it's me personally, we've got no defenders. I'll just completely change up the old formation, play a diamond midfield. We've got enough diamonds. We've got enough midfielders to play a diamond, enough strikers, but we've got no centre halves and wing backs. So I'll potentially do that. Give it an hour, and then you can bring on like the likes of Apter and Hernandez to mix it up a bit and get crosses in the box or someone else. But it'd be interesting to see what Jonesy goes with it. But I think 1-0 anyway.
Yeah, 1-0. Okay, Timsy, we'll change now to the game after the Baggies, which is Wrexham away, going to the team that's obviously come up with you guys that everyone's talking about. It'd be good to do a little job on them, wouldn't it?
It would be since last time we went there, and we had the whole the quote of the going to the circus about, which sort of added a bit fuel to the fire, I think, for them to get that win. We were in a really good place actually when we went there. We were really on form, and then it just sort of like we just ended up playing their game. We didn't play our own game that day, so it'd be nice if see how we've changed since we last played them, when we were all fighting for that top 2 places. We'll never all catch Birmingham, but if we did beat Wrexham, then we could have had a really interesting end to the season last season. But I think it'd be interesting to see how we progress. I think they spent 33 million at Wrexham, so it would be see how we match up and how we compare now. And it would be good to get a result there. It really would.
Yeah, definitely. Dave, what do you think, mate? Are you going to go to the racecourse and get all 3 points?
Yeah, I'm confident actually, because Wrexham, they obviously they've got some good results, but then at home they've had quite a mixed bag of results as well. So yeah, it'd be nice to do one over Parky, our ex-manager, and yeah, it'd be nice, for the playoff winners to be the runner-up champions. The club that make up their own cup for finishing second in the league. It's yeah. I'm not a fan of Wrexham, so it'd be lovely to do one on them.
Definitely. I think if you can come away maybe with 4 points from the week, I think that's probably a good healthy return. Right, we are now on to a new feature, which is called Platty's Peeves. So our good friend Platty is going to come out with each week something that's giving him a little bit of annoyance from the week. So Platty, what is your peeve for this week?
I've got to say, I think it's Rob Apter. Rob Apter played very well in the first 2 or 3 games that he was in the side, and he was left out when James Bree joined, and you can't knock what Bree's doing. Absolutely phenomenal. But on Saturday, they brought on Hernandez and not Apter, and you just got to ask yourself, why would they do that? I've got to say, you look at the stats, and Hernandez seems quite up there in the stats, but I can't remember anything remarkable that he did, and certainly nothing that Apter wouldn't. Yeah, I was pretty peeved because I was expecting to see Apter come on, and I would want him to play a part in the game on Tuesday night, hopefully. But yeah, there's something there, and I don't know what it is. But yeah, Nath is on that aspect is peeving me off at the moment. If anyone agrees.
Timsy, what's your feelings on that? Do you think Captain needs to play on Tuesday?
I mean, when he played for the first month, like I said on the previous pod, he won Player of the Month. And he's crossing because he does it. He normally crosses on the right hand side, but crosses with his left foot. It's really swinging and really inviting for anyone running the far post. I would like to see him in the team. We know Bree can play on the left-hand side, so there is a sort of swap you could do. But I'm a bit miffed at how Hernandez has got in the team and that where Apter was. I don't know, maybe it's something in training we don't know about, but from what we've seen on the pitch, he has some quality, and the crosses he puts in is pretty quality as well.
Perhaps he got some photos that we don't know about.
I think down to just experience. Obviously, he's a lot more physically stockier than Apter. I think, especially if he's going to stick with this wing-back system, he probably might stick Hernandez at left wing-back, because if you like Timsy, Bree does go to right wing-back with Ramsey. They like driving midfield, get the crosses in from the right. You're going to lose all that with them two on the left-hand side. So who knows? But he might try the Hernandez at left wing-back. And that's the only thing I can think of. You've got to bear in mind that to passed it into Maka up at Hull, and they both ripped off, come straight off literally after. So he's clearly not impressed Nathan enough to trust him. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe it stems from that.
It's one mistake, though, isn't it? Really, he hasn't done much else wrong, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, but he's going
Maka
forward.
did bugger around with it.
Yeah. No, definitely good points, and good one to start
But
off.
I'm peeved. I'm peeved.
You're peeved. Not good. Right, we're on to our feature, the A to Z. So we're on to the letter E this week, and we're going to chuck it to Steve. So Steve, who is your letter E for Charlton?
So yeah, there's not a huge plethora of quality that we've had in with the letter E, but one just name that springs to mind was everyone's fans' favourite or a cult hero for a while was Tahal El Koukouré, who our Moroccan goal-scoring free kick hitter for about 3 seasons in the Premier League. We bought him for £1 million from PSG, and he kind of came a bit under the radar. He'd had a spell on loan at Sunderland, which hadn't really done much, but he came in and he started to make a name for himself pretty quickly, scoring 5 goals in his first season. His first one being a winner against Blackburn. He scored, I think it was the goal of the season as well against Arsenal. We lost the game, but he hit an absolute thunderbolt that I think you could have put 4 goalkeepers in the nets that day, and they'd have all just gone flying backwards with it. The strength of power that he got behind when he was hitting a shot, really underrated. I think maybe not always the best defensively, but a really, really entertaining player to watch. I really enjoyed when over those 3 seasons that he was with us. One that I think we missed for a few years after, because by God, those free kicks are they're still talked about all around the valley. And and special mention as well for the only other E that I could think of, which was Jason Yule, our record signing, and a top all-round bloke as well. So he was the other name that came to mind.
Luke, can I just mention El Koukouré? There's an interesting story. When he played for Charlton against Reading, he went down quite heavily after being headbutted by I can't think of the guy's name. Lita. Lita. And Steve Coppell said that he was taking a death roll and claimed that he would have needed intensive care treatment if Lita had actually headbutted him. Well, Lita called upon the FA to ban El Koukouré for diving and acting poorly, and the FA gave Lita a 3-match ban for headbutt.
should have left that well alone then, shouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Right, we are on to our final section of the day, which is Tweet of the Week. So this comes from a Charlton fan, and it says, where are we? It says, "Fans, we were the flattest I've experienced all season," which came as a bit of a shock to me, because obviously Charlton are having a great season. What do you reckon the reason was for that, Alan, that there was a bit of a flat atmosphere at the Valley?
It started out all right. When the players are coming out, ITV were doing their bit of us on the pitch and stuff, and it's quite noisy. And then after 60 seconds, I think everyone's a bit intake of breath with Gillespie, and it sort of like shocked us into life. a lot of people I was talking to, everyone's got coughs and colds. So I think it's the first half, especially that first half, 30 minutes, I was thinking, just get a takeaway and go home. Just get a takeaway. What? I started thinking, what are we having? I just want to go home. Where's my lemon sip? That sort of thing. But I don't know. We were very, very quiet. And when the Swansea fans started singing, like, this is a library and obviously your support is all that, we normally give it some back, but we just sort of like laughed and smoked it off. I thought, yeah, it's a bit crap today, isn't it? We didn't. It was just flat, considering a lot, normally at home we're very loud. We always out-sing we like the away fans, and obviously when we're away from home we're brilliant. But yeah, maybe we're saving it for Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's what that was going to be.
Bit of fireworks, maybe.
Yeah,
something
that's
back
well, it's saving it to you, Dave. Do you think that's the fans have got to now react and sort of get behind the team against West Brom?
Yeah, I think it's always better. Well, I think it's our first midweek game at home, isn't it? So yeah, I think with all the new lights that are circling around the ground now, they've just been installed. I think it's going to be a really good atmosphere, and yeah, that's going to come down to the fans. And I think if we get an early goal, it's going to get the fans G'd up for it. And well, obviously Platty will be screaming from the terraces if Rob Apter starts. So, we've got half a chance of making a loud noise at the Valley.
Definitely.
I mean, it goes both ways, doesn't it? They have to give us something, the players, and we give something back.
Yeah.
But it was very flat on the thing, because as I said, the response.
Yeah. Well, out of interest, Alan, what did you have for takeaway?
KFC.
Oh, very nice.
KFC. Cheap and easy, isn't it?
Thank you very much, boys. Great conversation as always. This fingers crossed for a positive week, and let's see how we get on. Thank you for watching at home, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and please get involved in the comments below. What's your score predictions for the double game week?